To play just a short welcome for all of us. And hang on, we're new at this technology here, so just give me a moment to find it. Here we go.
Contribute to the growth of all. Welcome to the Peapod. And just like the peas in a peapod, each human is here to have experiences that will contribute to the growth of all. Here at the Peapod, we will examine some of these experiences and glean the lessons learned, the truth uncovered, and come to a deeper understanding through our sharing. So grab your popcorn, get comfortable, maybe even a paper and pen, and get ready for an amazing time with your hostess, Terry Angel, a woman on a mission to bring change, especially in the arena of peace, into our world. And here she is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And welcome. All right, I want to see if anybody's coming in. We get to see, our Auntie Jean is there with us. And I want to introduce our guests today who are going to have this beautiful discussion about the challenges of life. I want to welcome Dr. Ruth Anderson of Enlightened World Network. Ruth, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And ShaRon Rea of No Judgment, Just Love and the Whole Family Counseling. Welcome, Whole Family Coaching. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Welcome, ShaRon.
Thank you, Terry. Happy to be here. Hi, Ruth.
Hello.
I'm so happy that you're both here. You know, life is challenging. This is one thing that I have definitely discovered, that we go through ups and downs in life, and sometimes it's more challenging than others. But I have discovered that we grow through those experiences. And I have this quote that every experience in your life is being orchestrated to teach you something you need to know to move forward. And I fully believe that. Let's talk about that, ladies, that we are here to grow. We're here to learn, and we're here for each other, to be a mirror, to be a teacher, to be a student. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was school. Kindergarten, elementary, middle, high school, college. And I think there's a word shift that can help us, because I think we should have the intention of constantly learning, to align with your quote there, Terry, that everything is there to teach us something. But in school, we've been told that we finished a grade. You finished the third grade, so you graduated. You finished college, so you graduated. Well, I would like you transitioning to the next thing, or something. You learned something and now you're transitioning to something else, just to give the intention that a constant learner is valuable.
So I'm going to start even back before kindergarten, ShaRon. I tend to go with the viewpoint of, we were brought into this world with these people lined up, with these problems and learning opportunities lined up, and all we're doing is allowing those experiences to come to the forefront. And it's also, we can grow and learn in this lifetime. And what I realized a little while ago was, I've had 62 years of really pretty easy lessons. And I must have signed up for a bunch of them when I came in, and they're going, holy cow, she's only got 25 years left. We better get those lessons in. So I'm getting the pile up of the lessons. But it helps being able to see it from that viewpoint, because then I can kind of release my emotional connection to it. And I don't have to feel like a victim, and I don't have to be angry about something happening to me. It's like, oh yeah, I signed up for this. I signed up for this learning. So let me learn it now, like bring it on. Let me learn it. And then I'm just going to go on with the rest of my quiet life, but bring it in.
Wow, that's a great attitude, Ruth. And I'm with you. I think I signed up. I checked every box. Oh, I have the opportunity to learn that. Okay. But I also feel like once we get a lesson, once we actually fully have that aha moment, oh, okay, I got it. And it's like we don't have to repeat that. And I think that's why we keep coming in and saying, okay, let me look at it from a different perspective. Just like we can look at things in our human life, our spirit also is going through this growth with us. So if we fully get, what I don't know, what say jealousy is all about, and we've had lifetimes where we were in those situations, and then we come in and we're like, oh, it's really all about unconditional love, isn't it? And being more empowered in our own self and feeling our self-worth. So I really think there are lessons that we can check off our list. What do you think about that idea?
Yes, I would agree that you can check them off your list. And I remember a while ago, I didn't know any of this before I was a spiritually aware person. And then there was a before ShaRon, and now there's an after ShaRon. And I remember in particular, the before ShaRon had a lot of lessons that I didn't know were lessons. I just thought they were horrific experiences. And I did think, Ruth, that they were happening to me. And then when I became aware that, well, I'm going to be constantly offered small, medium, large, boulder size opportunities to grow, equaling lessons, that I can ask, may I have my lessons a little more gently? They don't have to hurt and trip me up and smack me in the face.
Yes.
And that has been what's happening. I think it's a combination of them coming not all at once, or maybe all at once. I don't know, because I'm not seeing them as this hard, horrible thing. I'm aware, just like you and Terry are saying, that it's a lesson. It's for me. It's for my best good. And I move through them a little differently than I did before.
ShaRon, I'm just going to piggyback with you on that about asking for your lessons to be learned a little bit differently. So going back about 14 months ago now, I heard in meditation with Terry, actually, I heard the words and said them out loud. What would that be like to start over with nothing? Spirit whispered in my ear a week before my house burned to the ground with everything in it.
Wow.
So I heard that message loud and clear. I got it that they gave me a heads up. So probably about, I don't know, 4 months ago now, in June, July, my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and he was going through chemo and radiation. And I heard a familiar voice say, what would that be like to go through life alone? And I said, stop. I am happy to learn this lesson. Teach it to me another way. Do not take him so I can learn this lesson. And he's fine. He's got a clean bill of health. He's done with all of his cancer treatments. And it's like, show me a different way.
Yes.
I've gotten a couple of things between then and now. It was like, oh, I feel alone. Yay. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. There's a different way. What a great way to look at that, Ruth. And gosh, I've got so many questions coming in after this discussion has gotten underway. um, okay, so you were able to speak with your authentic voice and say, this is not what I want. Can we look at it a different way? And can I learn the lesson a different way? I love that. So that's our free will, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah. I have this discussion a lot with people about free will and whether something is set in stone and we can't use our free will to change it. So in your case, this is a perfect example. It's like, no, it wasn't set in stone that you were going to lose a loved one so you could have that lesson. There are other ways of getting the lesson. So, wow, this is really profound, as somebody said. Julie Kiss said it was very profound. And it's such a great discussion that needs to be held, with us. And I love Danielle. Danielle is one of our Ps in Canada. And she said, yeah, I signed up for this. Bring it on. I'm going to learn about it. So I'm checking it off my list. I love that, Danielle. And I think once we realize that we have the free will, like what Ruth just explained, we can get through those lessons to really fully know them and know and grow. And isn't that what it means to be an enlightened master? We have our masters that guide us, and they must have gone through this in their experience, don't you think? I think about that sometimes, like what they went through when they were here on Earth.
Yeah, I do, Terry, but I'm going to take us back because I had free will in what I was learning and how I was learning it.
Mm-hmm.
But if that was my husband's path to pass, I would have no say over that.
Right.
So I think we can only control as much as we can control.
Yes.
And I think that's the value of infinity, which is we're constantly learning. We're constantly having unlimited choices. Like you said, Ruth, you wanted to ask to learn the lesson a different way. I'm asking to have it not hurt so much. Somebody else can ask it, I want it after I'm 40, or I want to be done with it by, well, you're never done, but ask for what you want. I think that's a big lesson. And then the tool that I'm learning and I'm having such wonderful opportunity is trusting that I'm going to be okay.
Had a hard time getting that out of there, didn't you?
I did. It just got caught up here in my throat now. Trusting that not only am I going to be okay, no matter what, but also that I'm fully and lovingly and just constantly supported every step of the way. And so that gives me a level of assuredness or confidence to move through the lessons, to be in the midst of them and not move through them. Figure out how I'm gonna, stand in this puddle of sludge and keep going.
And sometimes it's okay to just stand in the puddle of sludge and go, you know what? This is the best I can do today. I'm just going to stand here. And as long as I don't drown, I'm okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge because we constantly want to not be where we are. That's what it feels like to me. Many people, including myself, hurry up, let's get through this. Or when is that happening? And no. Sometimes Ruth is correct, in my opinion. Just stand there. You never know what gift's going to come to you by just standing there.
Beautiful. Just being. It's the art of being. And when we can do that without really being overwhelmed by the sludge, having it draw us down deeper and deeper into it, then we can really focus, can't we? We can focus and say, okay, what is this all about? I learned a long time ago not to ask, why am I in the sludge? But I'm like, what's this all about? And what do I do now? That's one of my tools that I use, ladies. I really connect in with spirit and ask to see the lesson more clearly and say, what am I supposed to do with this? So, what are some of the ways that you all get to move forward, to get your foot up out of the sludge and start moving forward?
I've kind of, not every time, but more times than before, learned to live in hindsight. So while I'm going through it, I'm aware that I will get to the other side, and I'm observing and contemplating the lesson while I'm going through it, which I hope that makes sense. But I don't want to wait until I'm done to then look back and see. I'm learning how to incorporate all of that at the time I'm in the struggle or in the lesson.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm learning how to have feelings, which is huge for me because all of my life has been repressing feelings, get over it, do a spiritual bypass, don't feel it, just move on. And I've been given the opportunity to feel things, and I'm learning how to do that and not getting caught up in the feelings. Like I express some, and then I can go back to my place of wanting to be full of grace. Because you can't be really, really angry and full of grace at the same time. At least for me, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So for me, just learning how to feel it, how to accept that I'm feeling it, and then asking, what can I do to move forward with grace? And that's just been my big learning recently.
What about you, Terry?
Yeah, I love that ask. And yeah, that's what I do. I check in. I'm like, okay, how do I handle this? How am I to move forward with it? Because if I don't do that, if I keep getting the hits, like, just recently I've gotten some big hits. And if I don't ask my spirit guides, which like go the angels first, and then any of the collective that I work with, my masters, and I ask, what am I supposed to do with this, and how do I start moving forward, because I don't want to go backwards and I don't want to be stuck in this feeling. And it's interesting that you put it the way you did, Ruth, that you're learning to feel. I think for many of us, and I see this as a huge problem going on in our world, we want to numb those feelings. We don't want to feel them. We want to do anything to get away from that feeling of overwhelm or that feeling of sadness or anger or whatever it might be. And I think that has contributed to a lot of the addiction problems in our world, just that wanting to escape it. And I don't want to escape. I want to experience whatever I'm here to go through. And yeah, it's tough at times. It's really takes a lot of fortitude to go through those fires and to say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to walk over the hot coals. I know it's going to hurt like hell, but I'll do it because I know the outcome. And I've been through some of the huge challenges in life. I've been through cancer. I've been through kidney failure. I've been through abuse of pretty much all forms. And I'm here on the other side saying, yes, you can. If I can do it, anybody can walk through those fires. And knowing that you're not alone. I think that's it, is knowing that we have that spiritual help. So I turn to the angels first. And then from there, I get to move my energy up so that I can go directly to source and have that communication with God, about this life that I'm here living and what that's all about. That's my go-to.
I think that's wonderful. And what I'm realizing, well, I think I already know it, but it's coming clear again in this moment, is that the three of us have had our own unique set of small, medium, large, boulder size challenges and
Mhm.
larger. um, and we each are finding our own solutions, our own way to work with it. And I think that's a gift to give to people that watch this is you have your own opportunity to uncover what's going to work for you. And it may be listening to Terry, that'll work for you. It may be listening to someone else or watching someone else. And at the same time, I'm aware that we all are equipped with everything we need. Not only are we equipped with the lesson that's going to move us forward, but we're equally equipped with the tools to move through that. So, whatever way you can trust yourself, trust the universe, trust that other people have gotten through it, as Terry said, and I can too. Maybe not in the same way or the same time, but I can.
I remember when this last interesting blow that our family has taken, I remember I was so confused because as a light worker, and I'm putting that in quotes, as
Mhm.
somebody who I see myself as, I thought, I don't know even what these feelings are. I don't, as a light worker, am I supposed to just walk through this and whatever you want to do to me, guys, it's okay. I mean, what was my role as someone who works with the angels and works with Divine Mother and Christ and tries to bring divine light in the world? What's my role in all that? And I remember, like you, Terry, you said you turned to the angels. I turned to the angels and I said, what am I supposed to feel?
Mhm.
How am I supposed to react? I thought, okay, Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Okay, I can turn the other cheek. But boy, is that making me mad to think they're already hurting our family, and now I'm supposed to. So, but yeah, turning to the angels was huge for me. And it's interesting because what I've experienced with my guides when I'm going through a really tough challenge, sometimes I'll sit in meditation and either they don't show up or they've got their back to me. And the first time that happened, I was actually kind of offended and was like, what do you mean you've got your back to me? And what I've realized is those are the times it's for me to figure it out. It's for me to wade through it and figure it out. And so when that happens now, I go, okay, fine. I'm just going to take the time and I'm going to slog through it because this is apparently one of my life lessons that I need to learn. So, yeah, but absolutely, Terry, sitting with the angels, whether it's in meditation or in prayer, but sitting with your guides, sitting with God, that time turning to the divine for me is so important.
Yeah. And Ruth, I know from being with you these few years and working so closely with you, I know how close Divine Mother works with you as well. Can you talk about that?
I feel such a connection to Divine Mother, and it's built over the years. There's no question about that. But sometimes it's almost like I don't know where I stop and she begins. It's just such a closeness. But I don't know. She just brings a great deal of comfort to me. Yeah.
Beautiful. ShaRon, do you have a go-to spirit guide or helper for you?
Um, yes, and I'm becoming more aware for me personally that I'm in a transition between even looking for a guide, whereas I'm more wanting to talk to Ibby. And Ibby is my name for my higher self or my inner being. Ibby is inner being, best intuition ever.
I love that.
And so I'm more checking in with myself and then collaborating with angels, guides, teachers, others, because there's an awareness that they are me and I am them. So checking in with me is checking in with them. But there's also a desire in me to not rely on outside of me, even though that's within me. I know I'm going a little
Mhm.
esoteric there, but because I have one of my lessons is reliant upon others and not using my own knowing, my own skills, my own solutions. So yes, I engage with Ibby first as often as I can until I'm not hearing her and I go, help! So that's out there. But that's my go-to right now.
Okay, awesome.
Terry, what about you? We know you listen to the angels every night.
Yeah, I do, every night. And also, I think my main go-to, beyond the angels is Yogananda. And Yogananda has been guiding my experiences for about 35 years now, since I first interacted with him in spirit. And it's such a beautiful presence, but it's also strong. The angels, they're going to help us. They're there for us. They're our messengers. They're our crutch kind of that helps us to go through some of the experiences of life. But when I interact with Yogananda, it's more of, okay, do it. It's like no messing around here. Just get on with the program. And I think for me, that's what I need. I need that voice of reason sometimes that says, stop floundering, stop wavering in your decisions and make a decision. And I think for a lot of us, that's such a help to know that there's somebody there like that taskmaster that says, all right, now let's do the next one. Yeah. So that's who I tune into. And I've had such beautiful meditations with Yogananda. And for any of you that out there that are not familiar, it's Paramahansa Yogananda. And he is the master that brought yoga to the Western world, and especially here in America, and helped us all to learn how to meditate. And that was when I found Yogananda, was when I found meditation, and really deep meditation, not just, you know, 5 minutes of breathing, but to really go inside and do that soul searching. And I think any of our masters, any of the ascended masters are there for us to reach out to at any time to guide us, because they've been through the experiences just like we have. And I love that. I love that they can really understand from that viewpoint of what we're experiencing. Maybe not the same way we experience it. And ShaRon, I think you mentioned that earlier, that not everybody's going to handle it the same way. Not everybody's going to walk through their fire the same way, because we each have different experiences. But these masters that I'm talking about, the ascended masters, they've been through all of their lessons. They've gone through the grief and the sadness and torture and abuse and whatever. And so they can help us more fully in that way with our human experiences. I think the angels are just, I see the angels, and what I've understood from them is they won't just jump in here and pull us up out of the fire. Okay. And Ruth, you had touched on that, where you see them with their back turned, like, stay, you can do this. You can do this. So they don't just jump in and intervene. And do you all want to talk about that? How you felt sometimes that you wish that they had, but they were like, nope, you got this.
Terry, I would love to, but I'm going to let Ruth handle that one. But before that, I just want to say something that's causing me to chuckle. First of all, your wonderful background is flickering, and it looks like cherub wings. It's like you're just hovering. These children, doesn't it, Ruth?
Oh yeah, I was thinking it was angel wings myself.
And then it's not only a lesson, but does everyone have a sense of the nudgings and the symbols and the signs? So about a week ago, I pulled cards and I pulled the Yogananda card, and it said yoga, and I went, I don't like that motive. So I was like, can I have another card, please? And I usually walk every day, and Terry's here with me, and I've been struggling to walk every day. 2 days ago, I got a message from a young lady who said, I think your health issues are going to change if you do a different kind of exercise. I'm like, oh. And then you're now talking about Yogananda, and I'm going, okay, I hear you now. I guess I'm doing yoga. So thank you, Terry.
ShaRon, just as an aside, if you go to YouTube on Enlightened World Network and type in yoga, we've got probably, I don't know, 50 yoga shows on there. You can just do it with Enlightened World Network.
Thank you, Ruth. I shall do just that.
You don't have to leave your home.
Don't even have to get out of your pajamas if you don't.
Thank you for that. See, I asked for my lesson with grace and ease and not a smack on the head, and that's what I'm getting.
That's what you got. But so, Terry, your question about the angels being there. One thing I'd like to share is right before the house burned, we were out of town. And we went in, we got to the rental house, and I felt Archangel Michael so present. And 3 days in a row, he was right by my side. And even to the point that I turned and I said, what? What? Why are you right here? And that night our house burned down. And so to me, it was such a message of, I am right here. You are not alone. And I wonder if before some horrific thing happens, if we only knew to pay attention, would we experience the angels right there with us to support us before enduring it was happening?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I didn't know what you were going to share, Ruth, but I was guided to put this on the screen, which is a message from the angels from one of the nightly messages where I sit with them. And when I was talking about this particular message, it was about a car accident that I had had where they actually pulled me out of the car to experience watching it happen. And so I wasn't fully aware of being inside the car as it was crashing. And same thing, you were not there in that fire, but it says, we help you when it's too much for the mind and body to experience by shielding you. So I feel like they shielded you from that. You weren't there standing there watching it burn or, being in that trauma, but they were there and they had already prepared you to be away from your home.
Right.
When that happened.
Yeah, they absolutely had. Yeah, absolutely. We were so protected and so shielded. And when I hear the stories of the people that were here that lost their homes, because we lost 1,000 homes that night.
Whoa.
And to hear the stories of the people that were in their homes trying to evacuate, it was so frightening. And thank God my girls didn't have to live through that. I'm so thankful for that.
I am so grateful.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the blessing of having these beautiful helpers in our life. They are there to help. And Jean L'Oreal had a response to you, ShaRon.
Oh, okay.
She says, I love that, ShaRon. I will give my app man a personal name with meaning. So over the years, your strength has guided me to withstand many storms. Padre Pio is my comfort and guide, and the angels have always been there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jean. Go
Thank
for
you,
it.
Oreo.
Can't wait to hear what it's going to be. Please share with us.
Yeah. Robin says you have feedback when you speak, Ruth, but I haven't heard that. Do you hear it?
I hear it on my side.
Yeah, I hear it on my side too. It almost sounds like another conversation that's taking place somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, I heard it just a little bit right then. All right. Well, we don't have much time left here, so we'll just continue on. Oh, ladies, so the challenges and struggles make us stronger. I feel that in my own life. I feel stronger after each challenge that I go through. I know that when I come out on that other side, I'm going to have something more in my toolkit that I can pull from. And my wings are really fluttering now.
They really are.
Ah, you know, sometimes when we go through the really bigger things, and I know there's no difference in energy, but when we go through something that is more traumatic than some of the other experiences, um, we do it on purpose so that we can help others who will be going through that same experience. And I was told that personally by Jesus when I went through breast cancer a few years ago, that I wasn't doing it for me. You know, it was for me as far as the personal growth, but that I was doing it to be able to have that insight to help others. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I was just going to say that, Terry, not in that way, but about a couple of weeks ago, I heard share your story about postpartum. And I'm like, mm-mm. Not because I didn't want to share it, but I don't mind sharing my personal things, but I didn't want to sound boastful. I didn't feel like I could share it without, look at me. And that's not what I wanted to do. So it took me a couple of days, and finally it was almost like, now, like, okay. So I wrote the story, and it started out with, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. The tale of two mommies in one. And then I wrote this story and I just let it go. Oh my goodness, it got over 100 comments. Women were saying, thank you. I want to have a baby and I'm afraid of postpartum, but now that I see there's another. I mean, it was just so, I completely agree with you, Terry. We are not in the world alone, and our experiences are not just solely for us. They are sometimes, almost all the time, universally for us and everyone that interacts with our story. So it's important to recognize when we're going through it that that's it. That's the living in hindsight that I have, as well as realizing what a gift to be able to overcome those things and be a beacon for others.
And I think for me, part of why my family experienced that was so we could model for the girls resilience. How do you get through a horrible life trauma without losing your mind on top of everything else? So that resilience was huge for us.
Yeah. But ladies, it's not just the traumas that are a testimony for us to share with others. Isn't it also the miracles that we
Yes.
have in life?
But the traumas are the miracles, and the miracles sometimes are the traumas. So, yeah, I agree, Terry. It's all circular. Share everything.
Well, I think the miracles, we kind of tend to expect them. And so they don't get as much attention in our minds as the horrific experiences.
Hmm. I like that thought. But I love what ShaRon said. The traumas are the miracle. right? We see the miracles when we go through those experiences and we make it to the other side of those experiences. Wow. Ah, what a great discussion. Well, what I would like to ask from you ladies, I know you both, I know that you work with others, helping people go through their traumas, walk through their fires. So, do you have something that you can share of a way when people are either in the midst of the fire or coming out of it? What would you share with someone who has been through or going through their experience? Is there a tool that you can leave somebody with today? There may be that person out there that's in the middle of something huge in their life, or maybe there's just been so many hits and they're ready to just put it all in there and say, I'm done with this. So, how would you encourage someone? Is there something that you can say to people out there who may be struggling right now?
I think if we can hear all of the tidbits that each one of us has given in this conversation, they culminate in you're not alone. There's always someone to listen, or even to help, or someone who has experienced similar that can offer you specifics. You are a miracle because you're here and you're having the opportunity to go through this. Everything changes. Everything. And you're stronger than you think. And let me be a mirror for you and a support for you as you move through this, however long it takes.
That's beautiful, ShaRon. I would add, don't be afraid to seek help, and be careful that who you talk to. I don't know what all the feedback is. Whoever you seek out, make sure that they're spiritually aligned with you such that they can support you and not just be triggered by what you're saying. But do reach out to others and let them love you. Sometimes it's really hard for us to allow others to love us. So let them in.
What about you, Terry?
I try to always give hope. I think when we are in the overwhelm, when we are just facing that brick wall and it doesn't seem to be moving, that I try to give options like, okay, going back to the breath. Breath work to me is a miracle, and the breath is the connection. So when we can just hit the pause button, stop banging our head against that brick wall, and step back and observe, and then breathe. And, yesterday I was going through a really rough day and had a lot going on. And somebody sent me a message. It may have even been you, Ruth. Somebody sent me a message and said, just breathe. Just breathe. And sometimes that's all we can do, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I use the pause a lot, and I use it with people that I coach and listen to and turn a compassionate ear toward, to just step away sometimes from that chaos, step away from whatever's happening. And, it's just like a movie that you don't want to see that horror scene. You just hit the pause button and you're not seeing it anymore. So to me, that's one of our best tools that we can have in our toolbox, is to know that we have that option. We can just take that moment for us. We're in control. And I think a lot of times we forget that we have the control. If we're going to keep spinning, or if we're going to say, okay, no, I'm tired of this insanity right now. I'm going to take a moment for me. And taking that moment for ourselves you know, for me, it's just going into my cave, wherever I'm at. I have a little cave, and I go there and just shut out everything and just focus on what am I doing? Asking the angels, what am I doing? How am I supposed to move forward with this? So that's my go-to, is to just pause and be, and sometimes reflect, like, have I done this before? Have I done something similar before? And how did I make it through it? Obviously, I did, because I'm still here in the physical. How did I make it through that? Because so many times we think, I can't handle this, but we can
Mhm.
handle it because we signed up for it. You know? Ladies, this has been such a great discussion. I am just absolutely loving this today, and loving our audience who is here listening, and loving the conversation as well. And I have been putting up your contact information, but ShaRon, would you just take a moment and talk about what you do and how people can reach out to you and what they might expect when they reach out to you?
Absolutely. I am, for this month, celebrating 12 years as a life, family, and communications coach. And in that, no matter how your life is going, it can always get better. And so that's how I help people find their better. I'm also the founder of a global movement called No Judgment, Just Love. Of course, we judge all the time. I'm not asking you not to be human. But as Terry said, take that pause after you judge and find another way to move closer to loving allowance for all people and all things. And you can find me at www.njjl for no judgment, just love.world.
And that is streaming on the screen right now. So if you need to write it down or look back at the replay of this, reach out to ShaRon. And ShaRon, you have a workshop coming up this weekend.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Terry. I'm trying to be short and not get everything. This weekend, for the month of March, I've been doing a self-care made easy workshop. And it's a number of wonderful tips of how to love yourself, how to get healthy boundaries for yourself. And it's only an hour and a half. It's online. It's not on that website, but just contact me there and I can give you the link. It's this Saturday from 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, ShaRon. And I know that workshop, and it's amazing. I encourage all of you to sign up for that.
Thank you.
Let's go to Dr. Ruth Anderson.
So,
Same question.
yes, so I'm with Enlightened World Network, and it provides a safe place for light workers to come together and to be together and to present what Spirit is sharing with them. And that can be found at www.enlightenedworld.online. I also work individually with folks who are connecting with Spirit. So if I can be helpful to you in that way, just reach on out to us through the website.
Awesome. And Ruth, we have so many great programs on Enlightened World Network. Would you just share a few of what people might experience when they come to your network?
We have some amazing hosts at Enlightened World. Terry is on every day, at least twice, maybe 3 times with her shows. We have a meditation every day of the year, which can be found on Facebook or on YouTube. We have many shows throughout the week. G.P. Walsh, Jane Mountrose. We've got Scott Katamas. We've got so many different shows. So folks can find all of those either at our website or on Facebook.
Thank you. It's a wonderful, wonderful network. And if you want to be a part of that network, if there's something you have to offer, contact Ruth. The contact information has been streaming there on the screen. I just want to thank everybody for coming in today. And thank you, beautiful ladies. I love you both tremendously. And it's been a blessing to be here with you. Every week on the Peapod, we talk about something different. There's a new topic, new discussions, And next week, John Fiore and C. Megan Michael will join me. Next week, we're going to talk about reincarnation. And how do you believe? What's your belief in it? Come in and share your comments with us as we held that discussion. I want to thank you all for being here so much today. Stay in your hearts. Stay blessed. We love you so much. And have an amazing rest of your day or night and your week. And we will see you next week on the Peapod. Bye, ladies. Thank you so much for joining in.
Bye, everyone.
Namaste, y'all. We'll see you later.